Oh my god, my voice is so shot. I don't know why. What is going on? This is crazy. There we go. Somebody's clipping and they're stealing my voice. I pushed the button. Hey, come on. I pushed the button there, internet. Hey, everybody. What's going on? My voice sounds totally crazy today, and apparently I'm losing my voice. I don't know why. I don't know what happened to me in the Amazon, but apparently I'm losing my voice. So I have to talk like this, because otherwise if I talk any higher up, it just seems to kind of go away. Very weird. Didn't realize it was happening because I haven't really spoken to anybody out loud today up until I started to get ready for the show. So, whatever. It's Monday. It's Monday, the day where I'm about to lose my voice. Who knows why? I do not feel sick. Yeah, apparently I'm losing my voice today. We'll find out what happens. We'll see how it works out. Probably like blowing out the bass in somebody's car right now. People are wondering what's going on with the bass. It's just my voice today. I don't know. My voice is shot. I don't even know what I did with it. And it wasn't like this yesterday, but apparently it is today. Not sure. But welcome to another Fly Swatter Monday. How y'all doing out there? I happen to have a fly swatter on my desk because somebody unleashed a fly in my office, and I've been trying to swat it. I've been trying to swat this fly, and yeah. So that's why that's here. Fly Swatter Monday's not a thing. It just happens to be today. But we're back from a small weekend. We got that small weekend action. Did a live stream on Saturday to catch you guys back up with all the Peru stuff. And I definitely was, I guess I was kind of counting on getting a lot of questions from everybody out there in regards to, like, just getting a lot of questions. But we didn't get a lot of questions. There wasn't a lot of questions. But a lot of people hit the like button, and I guess that's good. I guess that's good for the algorithm. The algorithmic feels of YouTube, getting deep into hitting the like button. I think that's something that everybody likes to talk about, especially on Monday. Everybody loves it. Yeah. So the weekend has been. Oh man, you hear that? I just had like the puberty crack in my voice. Well, welcome to my life. I'm transitioning in my 40s. I'm transitioning from a prepubescent to a post-pubescent human, commonly referred to as an adult, but who knows if that's accurate or not, because who really wants to be an adult these days, you know what I mean? Let's see. What's post-pubescent called? What is that called? Showing results for post-pubescent. Here we go. Based on what has been revealed so far, ephebophilia? What the hell? Oh, what? I don't even know what that is. Oh no, that's not. That's somebody having okay, we don't like that. He. What is this? Blanchard replied to the initial publication. Oh my God, I'm in like the weirdest. I'm in the weirdest thing. I just got flagged. I just got flagged by the internet. The internet has just flagged me for my search results for just looking up like post-puberty calls. Gross. This is gross. Don't look this up. Okay. That didn't help. I guess it's just adults, right? What is? I just want to know what that's called. What is? Is it just human? It might just be human. Let's see. Okay, this is not helping. I'm gonna have to look this up at some other time. But either way, I'm going through puberty right now in my 40s, and you'll hear it in my voice, as it will occasionally crack when I get excited, apparently. I don't know. We just learned that during the show today. I didn't know that was happening until the show today. The only people I talked to was the doctors. I talked to the doctors today. I got to get those post Amazon tests, you know what I mean? Like after you've been to the Amazon, you got to get checked up. They got to check you up, you know what I'm saying? They got to check you. Make sure that you don't have any parasites or fevers or whatnot. And of course, COVID, falls in that too. So I went and got my swabs, and we're gonna see if I'm ill, which I don't feel ill, but apparently now I have a symptom of my voice sounding totally crazy today and cracking. Not really sure what that's all about. Okay, Aubrey Wright has a good question here about Peru that just popped up that I don't think I answered on Saturday. So we shall talk about that quickly. Aubrey says, did any of your collecting work also double as scientific cataloging? Okay. Now, because we didn't really have anybody... Well, we had 2 doctorates on the boat, two hombres carrying doctorates. One of them has nothing to do with fish or taxonomy or any of that stuff. So, technically, no. But the main guy who runs the boat keeps an extensive catalog of where they fished, or where everybody, if anybody ever goes with them, he keeps an extensive list in a GPS coordinate-ish type thing for all of the fish that they catch in a spot. So when you're going out and you're doing that seine net, they bring in a whole bunch of different species. You generally keep one of whatever species that you pulled in, right? So when you get back to the boat, you have all the fish. You can go through and take pictures of them, and then they catalog via... And then he has like a whole bunch of reference books there because there's just so many fish. There's just... you could be like, oh, this is a killifish. Okay, looks like this kind of okay, hold on, we got to look it up. And then you start looking it up from the area that you're in to get kind of a reference of what it is. But you're not necessarily going to... Oh, what's the word? You're not necessarily going to have like a scientific... description of the actual fish that you caught, but you're gonna have a picture. You're gonna have a general description, and generally a what's the word I'm looking for here? You're gonna have a general description. You're gonna have a picture, and you're going to have and the location. So you're gonna be able to kind of go off those kinds of references, and then he can utilize those references over time to be able to take people out and kind of find stuff that they're looking for and whatnot. And then some of that information can be passed on to whomever he's in contact with in regards to like what's happening in the areas that they go to. When they go on, when that specific boat goes out with science groups, which it does from time to time, I believe one of the things that they're going to do this year, as was told to me, was... if you're familiar with the pink dolphin is a river dolphin. We did see a few of them when we were there, which was pretty cool because, as was explained to me, this is super, super rare, right? It's super rare to see them just in the world. And, but we definitely did see them a few times. Specifically, Corey and I were freaked out by the pink dolphin when one night when it was pitch black. We were sitting on top of the boat up top, just kind of shooting the breeze, hanging out in the kind of cooler weather on top of the boat, but it's pitch black. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't see nothing. And all of a sudden, the pink dolphin was making its surfacing breathing noise, and it was insanely loud and unsettling. And because there's so many fires in the Amazon, like, unless you have one of those specifically directional flashlights, you're not really going to penetrate the air very well for just seeing what's going on out there. And like my headlamp that I had is great for seeing everything right around you, but it's not sending a beam way out. You know what I mean? So it was like, can't even see what it is, but it's got to be a pink dolphin. It's literally got to be, it's got to be that, you know. Natural Aquarium says, seems it would be important not to release a fish up or down river. I assume the fish they keep take back to the dock. Yes, yeah, you don't just, well, to the furthest of my knowledge, if they're going to not keep a fish, they release it right back where it was, right where it's caught, you know, because you don't move the big boat. You just kind of, everything's done inside the big boat, so you don't move it. So most of those fish are just dumped back in, basically, you know, it might be 100 yards from where we caught them or 100 feet, but it's basically right where they were caught. So, yeah, you don't just, you don't just take fish and drive around and spend a bunch of fuel and then just drop them off somewhere later in the river. It just wouldn't make a whole lot of sense, you know. It would be weird to do that anyhow. Alec the Nice is wondering, the smoke was bad. Yeah. I mean, the smoke's bad. Just it's the dry months, so people are working, and you know the air isn't moving around a lot unless a storm blows through. So if there are fires around, there's going to be smoke and particulate in the air. And it's pretty obvious when you film with a long lens and a camera. You know, if you put 500 or 600 millimeter lens on a camera and you're looking way over there, you'll see the haze from the air that that the camera is looking through. You're looking through a long distance of air that's full of particulate and stuff like that. So we did experience a fair bit of that. Sometimes things blew in, like a storm blew in or whatnot, and kind of cleared out the air a little bit. But it definitely was smoky around. But, excuse me. Also on top of that, it's extraordinarily humid. So there's a ton of water. There's a ton of humidity in the air also, and it's like 100 degrees all the time. So most of that stuff's just kind of floating around. But also, it is the dry season, so a lot of people that are clearing areas for farming and clearing areas for food production and stuff like that for their families and their livelihood. Most people are burning that stuff during the dry season. So maybe if you even cleared it 6 months ago, it's not torrentially pouring down rain now, so you might as well burn some of those rubbish piles. And I've heard a lot of Americans get super upset by areas being cleared and stuff. And it's always been me. I've always taken kind of this stance of like, I'm on the side of humans, right? And it is one of the methods in which the third world can try to move up to a second world living or a first world living is agriculture. We know that from history, thousands of years ago, and when agriculture was brought in, the prosperity for humans went way, way up. And if you're somebody who lives in Nowheresville, Peru, and you're trying to do better for your family, one of the things that you can do is clear off an area and start farming. I hear people get super mad about the Amazon getting burned down, the areas being cleared, but I, as a human, am not willing to make the sacrifice of those other humans to just pontificate up on a platform about how it's wrong for them to do that. We did that all across the United States. If you don't think that's the case, I don't know what to tell you. You probably got some more work to go look up what the history of the United States was, but I live in Washington State, which has only been a state for 133 years, I think. 133. Does that math work out? How many years has Washington been a state? Gosh, how hard is it to look anything up these days? We were added to the Union. We're the 42nd state to the Union. Just give me a number. November 11th, 1889. So that's what I was doing the math off of. So 11 plus 21 is 32, right? 132 years. 132 years, the state that I live in has been a state in the United States. And, for the 100, 200, however long years leading up to that, most of Washington State where I live was being slashed and burned and forested, and all the forests were being cut down. We still have a lot of forest here. We have a lot of stuff going on, but that's what was done here, and that's a lot of the same stuff that's happening down in Peru. So yes, it is kind of smoky. There are some areas that are being cut down and farmed. It's the reality of progress for humans, and it's unfortunate that it's at the cost of some of the natural environments for the animals and stuff. Like, I don't want those to go away either. I don't want those to go away either, but I realistically, like I said, I'm not going to make the decision to get rid of people, right? Like, I'm on team people, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want there to be many improvements made in the United States, like green energy and whatnot and all these things, but it's not going to be at the cost of humans, you know what I mean? So that's one of the reasons why I talk to you guys about tax structures. I talk to you guys about healthcare. That's why I talk about all these things, because I'm just a guy, and I'm not telling people what to do. I'm just a guy telling you kind of some of my opinions on things and where I hope things would head. But I'm not going to do any of that stuff at the cost of people. You know what I mean? Let's see. Nature Aquarium says, I guess, 1856. What year was Oregon? Let's see. What year was Oregon? Let's see. It was founded in 1859. Did it become a state in 59? Let's see. I think it was founded in 1859, but Oregon was admitted to the Union in 1859. Okay, there we go. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so yeah, Oregon was 30 years before Washington. So, yeah. Why is that the case? I don't have the information on that, but I'm sure if I went to read it, I would be like, oh yeah. Why Oregon was the 33rd, but Washington wasn't until the 42nd, but who knows? Who knows off the top of my head? I don't. Anyhow. But yeah, natural aquariums, you were right about Oregon. It was 1859. Well, I mean, you're close. But here's what's weird. Idaho was after Washington. Who'd have thought? Okay. So yeah, hopefully that answers that question. I kind of ran past some stuff there that makes people super upset, and then they unsubscribe from the channel. So if you're still here, don't unsubscribe. Hit the like button and become a member. Phil Emerson is here. Okay. Oh, I forgot to say hi to the first people in the chat, which is Zipgun, Alyssa, Pipex, Shirish, Big D Smoke, Aubrey, James Floyd, Kiwi Mamo, Fisheye on Tactics, Jamie Oliver, Linda Worth, Joel G. I think that's everybody. Oh, Wesley's Fish Club, Zelf Ernide. Oh, Zelf, what's up? Nature's Aquariums, Mikey Fishy. Did I forget anybody? I don't know. I probably did. I'm scrolling down. Dane Hritz, Alec the Nice, Sci-Fi Swordsman, 503 Aquatics. Okay, I don't know. If I missed you, say hi again and I'll say what's up. Without Oregon and Idaho, we'd just be floating out there. That's right. We would just be floating out there, wouldn't we? But it's weird that Idaho was after Washington. It's kind of funny. How's it going, Sump Master? Just stopping by to say hi from Terry. Oh, what's up, Terry? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Zelfer 9 says, remember when people was all upset about the Amazon forest burn? Nobody talked about the wildfire in Siberia. Yeah, that wildfire in Siberia was outrageous. It was outrageous to see just how much burned in Siberia. One of the big things is that the Amazon has always been sort of marketed as the air quote lungs of the world, which, like I said, I don't want people to cut all of the Amazon down or anything like that. It's not what I'm proposing, but what I would say is it's not really our place to just create a blanket criticism for people that are, cutting down a half acre of the Amazon forest so that they can start doing some agriculture to help their family step up. If you've never been to the third world, I would highly recommend most people make some kind of visit so that you could realistically have sort of a working acknowledgement or knowledge of what it's like, what it's like to actually be in the third world, and kind of like how difficult it is to survive, and how good we do have it in the first world. I would certainly recommend that to a lot of people. If you go out, find out what it's like for other people to live. If you have the availability to do that, physically, whatnot, go do it, and it'll probably garner a lot of appreciation for things that you maybe weren't thinking about before. I know I got in a big argument with one of my family members a while back, a couple of years ago, where they were complaining about how the Department of Transportation in my state doesn't know how to fix a pothole properly, which initially my argument with my family member was, what do you know about fixing a pothole? Nothing? You really know nothing about fixing a pothole. You've never fixed a pothole. You've never worked on a road crew. You're not an engineer. You're not a civil engineer. You're not any of that. You're not any of those things, right? So where's the criticism for like how this pothole was fixed? And it was like, well, it was an asphalt hole. They came and they filled it in and they put asphalt there again. And then, a year later, the pothole was back. And it's like, okay, well, chances are that area underneath the road is probably froze over the winter and then thawed again. Is probably what happened. The expansion underneath creates void, and then probably created a new void underneath there, which, chances are they're probably going to have to dig up a really big area of that road in order to rebuild underneath it to stop this pothole from happening. Or you could try to fill in the pothole again and then see what happens. Obviously, one is considerably cheaper than the other, and it's really one of those things where, the family member was my uncle. He got all super pissed at me because he wants to start yelling about tax money and how much he's been taxed, which, of course, my question is, how much were you taxed last year as a percentage of your income and your worth? How much were you taxed? The answer is, he says, I don't know. It's too much. Okay, well, how much is too much? Is it 10%? Is it 20%? Like, how much should you be taxed? Well, it's just too much. It's too high. Okay, well, how do you know if it's too high if you don't even know what the number is and how high it's supposed to be? Well, whatever. Your generation's ridiculous. Okay, you know, I don't know. Maybe we should Google it. Oh, now you're gonna just look it up on your phone. Like, yeah. I mean, if there's a library of information in my hand, why would it be bad to look up the information? Is that bad? Is this like a weird generational thing that I don't understand? That like if we reference other information during a conversation somehow that disqualifies what my opinion is or whatnot. And my reason for bringing up this story has a lot to do with, if you've never been to the third world, it's very difficult to me. I don't put a lot of value in people's opinion when they go, they shouldn't do that, meh, meh, meh. You know, and you're like, well, okay, what should they do? Well, you know what they should do? They should just be like born in America. Okay, I'm like, okay, well they weren't. Like what is it that they should be doing? Well, they shouldn't do that. Okay, well, that's not a big help. Now, my perception on like how could these things become balanced and whatnot. I don't know what this is. I'm getting a prank phone call. But like, how do I have, like, what's my opinion where things kind of balance out? Well, it's a difficult prospect where we would have to like actually kind of draw out some diagrams and stuff like that. But what I did see was people making slow progress by clearing land in areas that they know aren't going to flood next year. One of the little towns that we went to had built stairs down to where the highest the water had ever been. And so they have this like stairs going up, and you're like, wow, they built concrete stairs here, but why don't they go all the way down there? And it's like, well, if they build a bunch of stuff down there, it's probably going to wash away when this place floods, right? When this place floods, or during the rainy season, that water's going to go upwards of 40 feet from where it is now. So if you went down to where the boat was from those stairs, you go down a hill, down a hill, down a hill, down a hill, down a steep hill, down some more hill, keep going down. Let's see what this is. I don't know what this is. We're going to find out. They're leaving voicemails. Let's find out. Oh.
Student loan cancellation efforts, which are now underway. Just so you know, the Biden administration has canceled over $3 billion in student loan debt over the past 12 months. You are now able
My student loan debt? Wow. I don't have any student loan debt, guys. How am I going to reduce my student loan debt? Why are you calling me about student loan debt? I don't have any student loan debt. What I do have is a YouTube channel with 82 members and 167 patrons. We're trying to get, the deal is, we're trying to get to 1,000 members. That's what we're trying to get to. And somebody asked, like, why would we want to get to 1,000 members? I would be making produced content every week. I would just do YouTube full time. Richard Goer says, did the 6-month membership go away? The monthly option is all I see on my part. Maybe I missed it. There was like a membership plan where you could do monthly, and I know that it was like temporary. I haven't heard from YouTube if they got rid of it or not. You might have to do the monthly thing. I don't know. You could do annual on Patreon if you want. Or you could do as many months as you want on Patreon. If you go over to www.patreon.com/JOEL_C, I think that's what it is. Hold on, let me get the home. Home. Let's go to the home. Does it get? Yeah, that's my Patreon. Copy. If you go over to Patreon, there's like a really sad post on there that you might want to check out. It's kind of personal, but I just loaded up, and I didn't necessarily want to talk about it today, but it just is glaring. I as James Floyd says, double up. You could be a member and a patron. There you go. That's a good point. You could do both. You could do both. But over on Patreon is the picture of my favorite bud, Mr. Chips, who passed away. Well, I mean, we had to put him down. And you guys know that Mr. Chips meant a lot to me. He's one of the mascots of the channel too. If you've been a member for a certain amount of time, you get a Mr. Chips badge, like the Zen Ginger right there. You guys know we spent a lot of money to get his. We had to get his gallbladder removed. He had to get a bunch of surgery involved with that, and we thought that he was recovering. He seemed to be doing okay, but he just kept. It kept becoming like harder and harder for him to eat. Like he just had no appetite, and we kept trying different medications and stuff, and then eventually we had to take him in because he had to get hospitalized. And he spent a couple days. I mean, maybe 3 days in the hospital there, and nothing they were doing was improving. His kidneys failed. And unfortunately, Mr. Chips is no longer with the family, and I'm very upset about it. To be honest with you, I'm extraordinarily upset that Mr. Chips is gone. I don't want to be just crying on YouTube, but I've already cried a lot about losing Mr. Chips. It makes me very sad, and it's a fact of life. It's a fact of life that we're all going to come to an end at some point. We obviously try to push it off as best we can, especially with our pets and animals. You never want to talk about the monetary side of things, but, we did spend a lot of money to hopefully get a few more years out of for Mr. Chips, which didn't pan out. But, it's very sad to see him go. There's a hole here at the house, and I don't like it. I don't like it very much, but like I said, it's a fact of life. We're all going to succumb to age at some point in time, and I did mention on Discord. It's very interesting, like some of the feelings that come up when you lose an important member of your family, whether it be a person or an animal or whatever. It's like you just immediately feel guilty. You know what I mean? You feel guilty that like you didn't do all of the stuff that you were supposed to do. And the reality, I think we exhausted all available resources that we could. There just wasn't, he's not going to get a kidney transplant. It doesn't exist. Not for dogs. I mean, it's so rare for humans even, that, and it's pretty sad, but, you just have to kind of keep plugging along and be happy with the good time we had. And, I keep running into stuff at the house here where he's like supposed to be at. He's supposed to be interacting with Mr. Chips, and he is not there. Even Biddy is upset, which is weird because Biddy is not a very intelligent dog. Much as I love Biddy, she's not very intelligent. But she knows that somebody's missing, and she's moping around and being very upset. And so, yeah, the one person who is sort of free from all emotion regarding it is Olivia. She does not know what's going on. She just doesn't know. I'm not going to bring it up. I'm just not. I mean, she's not even 3 yet. When Grandma and Grandpa's dog died recently, just a few months ago, less than 6 months ago, 4 months ago, something like that. She hung out with Grandma and Grandpa's dog all the time, who's a big giant dog that she could climb over and stuff like that. And we've had to explain to her a couple times what's going on, but she doesn't really know. She doesn't really know what that means, that they're gone, that they're permanently gone. Realistically, I mean, she might know what's happening, but she just doesn't, So, Vicky and I are figuring out the financial implications at this point. Realistically, we'll be fine. It'll be fine. It was fairly costly for the surgeries and all that stuff, but it just is what it is. And, you can sit around and be upset about having to replace flat tires and all that kind of stuff, or just move on. And I'm of the opinion that it's like, all right, here's the number we're working with now. Let's move on, and we'll just keep going. So we're going to keep doing that. In lighter news, randomly, Vicky decided to buy 5 more chickens yesterday. I didn't even have the heart. I realistically didn't have the heart to be like, no more chickens. I just was in the position of going, okay, we're going to get some more chickens. We already have chickens, so now we're going to get some more. Okay. So now there are chickens in my fish room, little tiny ones. They're like, yay big. And, but Olivia does know that the tiny chickens exist. And I will tell you, that little girl has a real hard time leaving the chickens alone. She wants to hang out with the chickens. She wants to hang out with the little chicken peeps. And it's like, hey, we're done. We have to let them chill and be chill. And she does not like that. Natural Aquariums says considered unsubscribing, but then decided that was a poor life choice and trying to avoid those. That's a good point. Unsubscribing from the channel is a poor life choice. Also, getting hammered from the channel means that you've also done some poor life choices. In lighter news, the banhammer coming down pretty hard of late. Mainly because I've made it pretty clear I don't want to talk to anti-vaxxers. It is a monumental waste of time. I don't want to hang around anti-vax people. I don't want to talk to anti-vax people. I sure as hell don't want to come onto the internet and have to talk to anti-vax people. No, just no. And, people that think that Trump is going to get reinstated back into office, what's the point in talking to them either? What's the point? You've gone completely kooky-loo. You've gone off the deep end. And I've made that pretty paramount on a regular basis. And so that just is what it is. Like, maybe you have those opinions in the back of your mind or something. I don't want to hear them. There's no mechanism to put that guy back into office. There's none that exists. There's no mechanism that puts that guy back into office. The best thing you could hope for is to get Biden and Kamala Harris somehow disqualified from the presidency, but then Nancy Pelosi becomes the president. So I'm not really sure what it is you're hoping, but it's pretty nuts. And the anti-vax people, are different than people that have an allergy to things that are in the vaccine, or an immune system problem that says that they can't get a vaccine. That's different. These are different things. If you happen to be allergic to something that is in the vaccine, or have a doctor's recommendation that your immune system or whatnot might not be able to handle a vaccine, that's completely different. But yeah. Patty has a good point here. Folks are snorting cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. It's true. It takes all kinds. And but I've made it pretty clear that I don't necessarily want to talk to those people, and it's just a waste of my time. It's just an argument it's a circular argument. You end up just arguing with somebody who moves the goalposts over and over and over and over again, right? Like today, Pfizer got the FDA approval. It's gone through the whole process of getting the FDA approval. Like, are they now going to go get vaccinated? Probably not. They're just going to make something else up as the reason that they aren't. But I've already signed up to get my booster shot if my healthcare providers recommend it. I've already put in for it. So that's where I'm at there, which seems to be the end of September is the likelihood where that's probably going to pop up. October, I think, something like that. So we'll see if that comes up, and I'll keep you guys posted. But just the only thing on my end is I already signed up. Like, yeah, man, if you guys recommend a booster shot, I'm going to go get it. I mean, about a month ago, I got, let's see, yellow fever. I got was it dengue? What's the one that starts with a T? There's a T one that's nasty. I've been taking malaria medication, preventative malaria medication for the last 3 weeks. Today was the last one. For my to prevent malaria. I think yesterday was the last one. Maybe it was today. I don't know. The last malaria prevention was taken. What's the what is that one called? Let's see. What do we call viruses from the Amazon? What's that one? Let's see. Okay, yellow fever, dengue, hepatitis. Yeah, I took I had the hepatitis ones. People were really worried about rabies. There's another one. Oh yeah, the hantavirus. Oh god, I don't want that. I really don't want that. Let's see. What is the one that starts with a T? Does anybody can anybody remember it? Typhoid. Pfft, there we go. Big D smoke. Zen gingers, tuberculosis. No, tuberculosis is bacterial, I think, right? I think tuberculosis is bacterial. Let me see. Let me look that up. Tuberculosis is bacterial? Question mark? Yep. It's bacterium caused by Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Or is that mycobacterium? I don't think it's myso. I think it's Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Yeah, so that's TB's bacteria. I was thinking of viruses. Typhoid. Typhoid is the one. Typhoid fever. Let's look this up real quick. Typhoid fever is a life-threatening illness caused by Salmonella typhi bacteria. Oh, so it's related to Salmonella. Okay. Paratyphoid fever is a life-threatening illness called by developing countries. Affects about 12 million persons each year. Yeah, so I took the typhoid one, yellow fever, hepatitis, and then one other one, which completely escapes me. But it's on my vaccine card now, which was hilarious because they were like, "Don't ever lose this vaccine card. Don't ever lose it. You'll never get another one." And I straight up was like, "Are you kidding me right now? Like this, in the technological marvel of the 21st century that we live in, you're like, don't lose this piece of paper." It's like, well, it's got your vaccine stuff on it. And like, can you scan this thing into a digital report or something like that? Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Jose Cerda says, but the My Pillow guy said so. That's right. The My Pillow guy is crazy. What is it? What's his name? Mike Pillow? Mike Pillow, I think. Mike Pillow? I think that's his name. That guy's crazy, and he's making up stuff, and he did probably the worst. What was it? What did he call it? Like a technology symposium or something? What did they call that thing? Mike Pillow Tech Symposium? Isn't that what they called it? Mike Lindell left stage at symposium when Dominion lawsuit. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's the most ridiculous thing. Of course it's held in South Dakota. Of course it's held in South Dakota. Oh my God. Yeah, of course. Of course South Dakota is hosting the Mike Pillow Tech Symposium. Hey, hit the like button if you think that's funny. Because we're only at 27. We need 185,000 likes before we'll stop bringing it up. Yeah, that's how it goes. I lost mine and got another. I'm not being a troll. Oh, you got another one? They kept telling me that I couldn't lose my vaccine card. I would lose it. And it was like, it's like this folded piece of paper book. They were like, don't lose this. This is the most important thing you've ever achieved in your entire life is me giving you this piece of paper. I was like, it doesn't even have like, it doesn't even have a watermark on it or any kind of, it doesn't even have any of those cool decals. You know what I mean? They didn't have any of those shiny decals or anything like that. It really didn't seem official. And I was like, can I just laminate this thing and stick it somewhere? And they were like, yeah, but it wouldn't fold up if you laminated it. And I was like, well, you said I couldn't lose it. So, you know. I'm talking about the yellow vaccine card, not the COVID one. The COVID one, I actually have two. Like, one has one on it and the other one has the other one. I just stapled those ones together. I don't really care about the COVID vaccine. That one's all electronically filed, too. I have that electronically document. I have that as an e-document. There we go. An e-document. I have the e-document of that. It's the yellow card. What's this thing called? Vaccination yellow card. Vaccination yellow card. International certificate. What is this thing? Hold on. Let's go images. Let's see if we can get one. Yeah. This is the thing. Not the COVID one. Nope, these are all COVID ones. COVID. These are all COVID ones. No. It's like a yellow booklet. Ah, here we go. Okay. I'm going to save image as. Here we go. Save image as. Sure, we'll just call it that. Then let's get this thing. We go add source. Media Fools. Media Fools. This thing right here. So it looks like this. Can I move it? Good. Oh my God, we moved the background image. Okay, here we go. What? Stop doing that. I'm clicking on this one. There we go. Whoa. We can move it around. Let's make it big here. So it looks different. It looks like this, and then it has a whole bunch of pages attached to it. Oh my God, do we need to bring out the arrow? Do we even have an arrow in here anymore? Oh, we do. My guys, we're bringing back the yellow arrow. The yellow arrow is returned. Oh my God, triumphant return of the yellow arrow. Okay, so it looks like this. It says like hepatitis. It has yellow fever. It has the other hepatitis. Blah 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 blah. It has all these different immunization stuff on it, and I was like, hey, why don't we just digitize this so that I can have a digital copy, and then if the paper one, say, gets some coffee spilt on it or something, right, then I would be able to still have it, and they'd be like, and they were like, no, don't lose this. I was like, okay. Okay, guys, you guys are being silly gooses, but all right. Sometimes you literally just have to go in and be like, all right, you guys are being silly gooses. I will try to not lose this. That's what I'm going to try to do, guys. I'm going to do my best. That's when I asked him about laminating. Yeah. It's the Ministry of Health introduces scanning machine to detect fake yellow cards. This yellow card deal that you get is so important that it's made out of paper. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. And by the way, no one ever asked me to see it. I took it with me all the way to Peru and back, and no one even asked to see it. They legit just wanted to see my COVID test and my other paperwork and stuff. that I had just signed that said I'm not currently sick because I wasn't. That kind of stuff. And they wanted to make you were wearing masks, and then they took your temperature, and then they sprayed you with sanitizer, which is pretty funny because I'm in agreement with the hand sanitizer. Throw some hand sanitizer on. You're probably going to stop spreading around. You know, you're picking your nose, you're poking your eyes, you're doing whatever, right? Like, let's be honest here. Let's be adults around here. Sometimes you do this one. You know what I mean? You're like, there's something hanging. You might have like a thing, and you're like poking your face. Well, now you got a bunch of germs on your hands. You could put some hand sanitizer on there, and it's probably going to like kill off some of those germs. Maybe it's not 100%. Maybe it's not perfect, but it's going to do something. But there's literally a part where some of the foreign airports you go into, and there's somebody standing out there with a spray bottle with alcohol, like rubbing alcohol or whatever it is, and they like spray down your luggage a little bit on the way by. Like as you walk by, they're like, psh, 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 and so a quarter of my luggage was like super sanitized, like one corner of it, just this one side part where somebody sprayed alcohol on the side of it, which I'm going to be honest with you guys, I don't know what that did. I don't know what kind of benefit that played. But obviously wearing masks and that kind of stuff, and not crowding together with weirdos. I think not crowding together with weirdos should just be a thing that we should just do forever, right? Like we should, if 200 people fit on a subway car, we probably shouldn't try to put 500 in there, you know what I mean? Because somebody's getting their whatever all over you, you know what I mean? And it's just not a good vibe, you know what I mean? It's not a vibe that we should be encouraging in the 21st century. I don't think it's good. I think if the subway cars are that full, some companies should be forcing their workers to work from home, you know? Well, not forcing's the wrong word, but like making it available that like, hey, if you're just a computer person and you're just emailing and stuff all day, how about just stay out of the subway today and just stay home? You know what I mean? Because it's like it's too crowded in here. There's too many people touching each other. It's a bad idea, you know? Maybe something like that would happen. 21st century. We gotta have proactive solutions, you know what I mean, for modern day problems. Isn't that how that goes? We gotta have like new solutions of how about just stay home, you know? Alyssa Bentley has bell peppers on her bell pepper plant, which shocker of the century. It's been super hot this year. So bell peppers grow in the Pacific Northwest now. I have to say, the last couple of years, we grew some bell peppers, and we actually had some at the end of the year, which was shocking because I've grown them in eastern Washington. If you guys know, western Washington is low. Where most of the people live is low down by the ocean. You can grow a lot of stuff here, but like hot weather climate peppers and things like that aren't going to do that great here. But eastern Washington is high plains desert, and everything grows over there as long as you can get some water and put water on it, it's going to grow. All that glacial till and everything from the last ice age given up very rapidly, which most people kind of think might have been an asteroid impact, right? Left a whole lot of good soil in eastern Washington for growing everything, and it's super hot for a lot of months. That's why apples do so good here. You guys probably heard about apples. Well, everything else grows over there super well also, like bell peppers. But when I was a kid, you couldn't grow bell peppers over here. But now that I'm an adult, you can grow bell peppers over here. It's crazy. We're talking about some crazy stuff. Jamie Oliver says the Department of Health in your state has record of your vaccination. You can ask them for proof of your vaccination. Okay. As I was saying, the COVID vaccination is not the one I'm talking about. typhoid, yellow fever, dengue, hepatitis A, B, C, D, blah, 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 the whole litany of them. All of that stuff goes on this yellow card that you get. And so whenever you go into certain countries that have issues with that stuff, you're supposed to have this yellow card. You can't lose it. And I think it's ridiculous that it's paper. You know what I mean? I think it's ridiculous that it's paper. Hopefully some new thing comes out at some point in time, and we'll be able to operate that way. Because it's really weird to go to the Amazon jungle and try to keep a piece of paper from getting wet. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying? Or maybe you go to the Congo, or maybe you go to Thailand, or maybe you go Papua New Guinea, or whatever. Who knows? I am pretty excited to try and go to Papua New Guinea someday. And I will say that I was kind of excited because, is it Delta? New Sonic aircraft. How would we look this up? Is it United? Okay, it's not Delta, it's United. United Airlines. So United has a supersonic speed plane that they keep advertising. They're going to purchase 15 of them. Under terms of the agreements, United will 15 of Boom's Overture Airlines. Once Overture meets United's demanding safety, operating, and sustainability requirements with an option for an additional 35 aircraft, companies will work together meeting those requirements before delivery, blah, blah, blah. So it is slated to roll out in 2025, fly in 2026, and expected to carry passengers by 2029. Okay, who cares? I didn't realize it was going to be 8 years from now before anybody could try to fly on the supersonic plane that they're advertising while flying on the plane in 2021. Oh, my God. Thanks, United, for getting my hopes up for supersonic flight. It's in 8 years, okay? Start advertising it 7 years from now. How about that instead of right now? I should have looked it up before the show, but we looked it up during the show, and we found something out. United Airlines is pulling some BS with their advertising of this plane, okay? Will we stand for it? Probably, because it seems like a big waste of time to go yell at United Airlines. But I was super stoked to hear about that because I forget what it was, like the time in the plane would be like 8 hours from LA to Australia or something like that, which is like, oh my God, really? Because right now it's like 22 hours. It's bonkers. You're like, I would like to go to Papua New Guinea sometime, but that's a really long flight. That's a really long flight. You probably get blood clots or something like that from flying that long, I would think. Yeah, Jamie says the vaccinations are also documented in the EMR your provider uses. They are required to supply you a new yellow card when needed. Yeah, I mean, my guess would be that they would just give me a new one, but I literally was warned, like, and I'm not even exaggerating here, like 6 different times by 6 different people to not lose the yellow card. Hey, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, and it seems like there should just be a better technology in case you have your yellow card screwed up. They should just give me a new one. I could use that right now with my back. Ever look at the cost of first-class tickets to UK or Italy? You know, here's the thing. Like, the first-class tickets aren't that expensive. So I know that a lot of people were pretty upset or jealous or whatever or just having fun because we flew first class to Peru, right? It was first class accommodations to fly. And it really wasn't that much money. I mean, after the taxes, fees, airport fees, blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. It was like $1,900, which it's not zero. It's not $0. But $1,900 is not like an insane amount of money to spend on going to travel to something that you're probably only going to do once in your life, like going to Peru. Let's see, first class ticket to where did UK? Let's see UK, but the UK is not even the EU anymore, so it probably doesn't even make any sense anymore. So here's the problem. Like if you look up first class tickets right now, it's like given the like tomorrow flight, right? Hold on, let's take a look here. Yep, it's giving me the flight for tomorrow. So it's like $9,000 round trip because this leaves tomorrow, which is not helpful. So we want to go like this. We want to go to the date, okay? Let's see here. The dates are getting weird here. Yeah, so we moved it out like 2 weeks. It's already down to 7,000 to go to the UK. This must be like a really important day for travel because it went way up. Oh, and all right, we got to go like this. We got to go to the calendar. Okay, so our flight leaving. So you'd always want to book a plane ticket like 2 months in advance. So let's see, the 14th of December. Wait, let's go like this. So we want this here. And the return is here. Yeah, so if you go all the way into December, there's like a $3,000 flight, right? It's not zero, but it's way different than like looking up like today's flights. There's like a flight that leaves in. There's a flight that leaves in 3.5 hours from now that you could get on. That's $23,000 because you're probably like bumping somebody off of a flight or something like that. Oh no! If I look at it, it's now it's $9,000. But the thing is, like, you gotta look up and kind of be flexible on the dates and things like that, and figure out like which dates are like super popular, because you might be able to like leave on a Wednesday instead of leaving on a Monday, and it can seriously drop the cost. It's one of those things that like why a travel agent is helpful sometimes for things like that. But nowadays, if you're somebody that has some time on your computer to kind of look around and kind of move the dates around and see what's going on, you're doing the same thing that a travel agent is doing. So you can definitely get the prices down on a lot of stuff. So it's really one of those things that, like, if you're going to do a, once in your life trip, it's generally going to be pretty good. Our flight was pretty cheap because it was 3 stops. But there's no direct flight to Iquitos anyhow. So we could have flown direct from Seattle to Lima, which probably would have been like significantly more expensive. But we literally like stopped in Texas for a couple hours, got on another plane, and then flew, But if you go completely nonstop, it's going to be more expensive. But I almost prefer to like, you definitely want to be nonstop if you can. But if you're talking about like $4,000, I'll stop in Texas for 4 hours. You're basically making $1,000 an hour from not leaving your pocket. And realistically, these days with most airports, it's not that bad to stop for a couple hours, walk around a little bit, stretch your legs, go pee, get something to eat, get back on the plane. Yeah. Natural Aquarium says first class ticket from Portland to London in middle of December is $6K. Probably cheaper to drive to SeaTac and park the car. Probably, but like, there's not a lot of direct flights that go from the west coast of the United States straight to London, right? So one of your big opportunities right there, if you were trying to fly to the EU or something, you'd probably want to fly from here to the East Coast, and then to like, I've noticed that like Charles de Gaulle is a big stop. From Seattle to Iceland and then go to UK is pretty common. So I think realistically, if I was going to organize a trip like that, I would almost want to try to do like a couple day layover somewhere like Iceland, because you could go out and kind of tool around and do some stuff for a little while, check out some of Iceland, then get on the plane and then head forward. Sometimes you can find those opportunities. Like the last time I was going to Germany, I don't know where I was going, somewhere in Europe. There was one plane that was Iceland Air to Iceland, and then I would take Iceland Air to wherever I was going. I forget. But it had like the layover was like 32 hours, which is enough time to like go to a hotel, sleep, take a shower, get all ready, then go around town, like look at stuff, get back to the hotel, get your luggage, go to the airport, and get out of there, and have had like a whole entire day. And it was the time of year where it would be light the whole time you were there anyhow, right? So it didn't matter like when you were going to be there. It's like you could go out and shoot some footage, I could shoot some photos, that kind of stuff. Just it didn't matter. It was going to be daytime. You know what I mean? So and it brought the price of the plane ticket like way down, so it didn't even matter that I was paying for the hotel room there. So you got to just be kind of flexible when it comes to traveling. Look around, figure out what date you want to go, that kind of stuff. But if you're on a really long flight, I do recommend saving and trying to figure out the date when you can do first class, because laying down on the plane, being able to sleep is huge. It's really huge. I can testify for that from this last trip. It's way different than being stuck in that sitting chair. Because I forget, one of the flights I took was 13 hours, or 11 hours. I forget. It was one or the other. And you're just sitting in that chair the whole time. It takes a toll on my body, and I'm healthy enough that I lose my voice randomly, like today, and it's a question as to what's going on. It's like, what's happening here? This is weird. So, yeah. Oh my God, we have a new member during the show. Richard Goer has brought us 0.1% closer to our 1,000 mark. We are 8.3% of our way to 1,000 members now. Thank you, Richard. I very much appreciate it. Says, sorry it took so long. Thanks for everything. Hey, man. Thank you. Thank you for becoming a member. I very much appreciate it. Like I said, hey, if we get to 1,000 members, and I know somebody out there was like, who cares if you get to 1,000 members? You're an idiot. And I was like, sure. But if 1,000 people want me to make YouTube videos, guess what? I'll be able to just spend all of my work time making YouTube videos instead of having to do the 19 other things that I have to do to pay my bills. Otherwise, we get to keep doing live shows, and am making edited content, and at some point in time, the edited content will come out. And those same exact people that call me an idiot will probably watch that video and be like, you're still dumb, but I watched this video. You know what I mean? And I'll be like, all right, cool. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Big D Smoke. It doesn't have anything to do with his size. Having to be on first class. It's all the back surgeries he's had. So he really can't just sit in that upright position. Literally, for medical reasons, it's literal, really bad idea for him to sit upright like that for an extreme amount of time. And so it is kind of a requirement for him to get a first class ticket. And hopefully some of my advice there helped out a little bit. Maybe you can find a cool flight. Maybe kind of switch some dates around or figure out a couple of things. Maybe it could work. My wife and I flew from LAX to London nonstop. Very nice hotel for a week. Air and hotel was $3,000 for the both of us. Great experience. Yeah, see? Like, the right times of year. Well, you guys probably didn't fly first class. That's the thing. I'd recommend on these long flights to afford that first class ticket if you can, because that little pod that you sit in, yeah. I mean, you can stretch out, you can lay down flat, you can kick your legs up, you can do whatever. It was just monumentally different. And I would be like, hey man, if you got to work an extra couple of weeks to save up some extra bucks, I would just go for it. It really does make the trip. It makes the trip way different. Yeah, you're not as exhausted. You're not as ridiculously beat up from the flying around, which is pretty easy to do now, especially because you got to wear 2 masks the whole time you're flying. So to offset that stuff, maybe the first class is enough to do it. So who knows? Yeah. Okay. I think we're kind of caught up on that. Let's look through the chat here and see what we got. Nobody came into the voice chat today. Voice chat is open in case anybody on the Discord wants to call in and yell at me. I would love to know what Caltrain looks like today. I don't know what Caltrain means. What does that mean? Caltrain Transit Line? California commuter rail line in the Santa Clara Valley and the San Francisco Peninsula. I have no idea. I have no idea what the Caltrain line looks like. This is the first time I think I've really looked at it. Yeah, I don't know. 1 million square feet. Caltrain plans office towers next to downtown. 1 million square feet. Caltrain plans office towers next to downtown San Jose Transit Hub. In between Crandall Street and West San Fernando Street, surrounded by Google buildings. This is very interesting, guys. I know what you mean. I know what you're thinking. I guess Caltrain's going to build some buildings right next to Google buildings. Maybe they think Google's going to move in there. I don't know. Paper plus rainforest equals paper mache. That's right. 100%. That's a good point. Less flights raising the prices from Mickham. Yeah, I think that there's a reality of that. I know that a lot of airlines are missing flights, losing flights, all that kind of stuff. That definitely seems to be an issue. So we'll see what the airfare continues to go price wise, but I know fuel's expensive and a bunch of other things are going on. So yeah, probably less flights, more expensive, less people moving around doing all that stuff. I do know that a friend of mine was on a flight from Seattle to New York or something, and they got landed in Montana. Because of medical emergency on the plane, which is so weird. I've never had that happen. I've heard of people having that happen, and that's never happened to me. So it's unfortunate. Let's see. Let's do the okay, let's go back here a little bit and in the chat and see what I missed. Patty, Joel was in Peru when we made the schedule, and we weren't sure of his exact streaming schedule. Uh-oh, what happened? The Zen Ginger, why is this not on the schedule? Oh, I don't know. Where's the schedule located? I guess the schedule is probably on Facebook or something like that. I change my stream times all the time. I generally do a show on Mondays and on Fridays, and they could be at 1 o'clock my time. They could be at 2 o'clock. Could be at 3 o'clock. Could be at noon. Could be at 11. It really just depends on my work, how much stuff I have to do. And, yeah, it just depends on all that. So I don't expect people on Facebook or anything like that to be able to keep track of when I'm going to go live, because I don't go live at the exact same time every week or whatever. So yeah, so hit the notification bell and all that, and then you might get a notification. But if you're a member or a patron, I always post it up in the Discord a couple hours before, or at least like an hour before, on our Discord under the live stream tab. So today we went live at 2. I posted the link at 12:48. So is that the best notification? I don't know, but it's the best way I know how to do it. Nobody has joined the Discord voice chat, so I'm going to hang up on that and close that. And most everybody's being super quiet in the chat now. I'm not kidding. I know Larry Flint's nurse, and when she was returning from China, she had to give a man CPR for over 3 hours nonstop. It was even in the newspaper. Yeah, I've seen stories about that. I've seen stories about people getting CPR on the plane for hours and hours. Matter of fact, my ex was a nurse, and every once in a while she'd come home from work, from the hospital, and complain about having to do CPR for extended periods of time, because it just is an extreme workout that you're not necessarily ready for, and no matter how many times you do it, you're just not really going to be ready for it. It's unfortunate, but when the people survive, it's totally worth it, so. Joel, a few fish folks, including myself, made a Google Doc spreadsheet, and the tight-knit part of the fish fam uses it, so Patty was just curious. Oh, okay. I've never seen this Google document, so I can't testify to its validity or not. Just found an old aquarium book from 1964 in my bookshelf. Common names of aquarium fishes. Must have gotten it at an auction. Ooh, yeah, actually, that's pretty cool. It's always great to get like those old books when you can find them. Definitely recommend people to pick those up and keep them in good shape so that somebody can read them. Let's see. It might actually be worth it to scan those. It might be worth it to like scan that in and make a digital version of it. But then again, you don't want to get the copyright police on you, You don't want to get the copyright police, you know what I'm saying? It's no good. So maybe there's a digital version somewhere, and you can use the paper version to find the digital version and then recommend that to other people. That might be a thing. Rosie says, no question, just want to say that you play the best music. Thank you for all that you do. Oh, man. You better pay attention for the future, because I've been working on making music for the live stream. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. The process continues. I know that I was talking with Corey, and he was like, man, I wish you would do live music on your live stream. And I'm like, yeah, I wish I would too. It's still a process of getting good at it enough to be able to do it on a live stream. That's the question. While controlling the live stream. So not only do you have to control the live stream, you'd have to control the music and all of the other stuff that I regularly do. And I'm just not good enough at it yet to do it live. So, but at some point, it will be happening, and I will probably just surprise drop it on you guys. I won't even there won't even be like a advertisement for it or anything. I'll just start doing it. Speaking of books and sponsors, did you know that I'm an Amazon affiliate? And if you buy stuff through the Amazon affiliate links, it kicks back to the channel. Let me find something to link to you guys that I was that I used. Here it is. Okay, so this dry pack right here. Here's one of the items that I had to get for the Amazon trip. As you can see, it's like $50 for a dry bag, which is not free. It's not crazy expensive either, but I can testify that this dry bag actually works. It's probably not the most comfortable or fancy dry bag I've ever utilized in my life, but for $50, it worked fantastically, I have to say. I don't think I have found any other dry bag that was as good for the $50 price tag, and worked out fantastically. Really no complaints other than that the straps are kind of uncomfortable and whatnot, but you're not supposed to be doing like deep, crazy hikes with a dry bag. A dry bag's supposed to be like throw it in your kayak, throw it on your boat, put all your stuff in there, keep it dry while you're kind of ski bopping around. It worked pretty good. The one that I was considering getting is by these guys, Ice Mule. But this thing, so this gives you an idea. Like this one right here is $120. So I didn't really want to spend that kind of money on a dry bag that I probably wasn't going to use very often, if not much more than just this Peru trip. So I used that, the $50 one. It worked out pretty good, and I'm overall happy with the small dry bag too. It came with a little tiny one. That one worked great. So there's an example of an Amazon link that we are commission based, like what do you call it? Sponsor of the channel. Which I don't know if people have been using the links recently, but it seems like they aren't. So just a reminder. How do you carry all of your filming gear when you're in the field? Do you have a good bag recommendation for straps or slings? Somehow I managed to start talking about this ahead of time before Aubrey was asking. So yeah, that dry bag is what you want. I don't know if there's like a fancy camera dry bag, but the let me find the camera bag that I normally carry around. The one that I carry around is not this one. It's not that one. Where is it? Hold on. I got to go to my orders here to find the backpack. So Manfrotto is the brand that I like of backpacks. They seem to kind of be the best. Oops. I spelled it wrong. There we go. Let's find this backpack here. Where is it? Let's see. Backpack. It must be 3:30 on a Monday because we just got the alert. Oh my god. Like, I have to have ordered this. Pack? Maybe Pack works? Oh my god. This is abysmal. Where? All right, hold on a second. Guys, this is going to take a second. Manfrotto camera bag. Where's the one that I normally carry around? That's the question. Because there's a whole bunch of them here. It's not that one. It's not this one. It's not this one. Is there more? There has to be more. Okay, oh, next. I gotta hit the next button. Ah, here it is. This is the one. This is the one that I really like. I use this one all the time. It's only $125 or $129, which actually is not bad. Because most of the really nice camera bag backpacks out there are like $300, $400, $500. They're crazy expensive. I really like this bag. It does all the stuff that I want it to do. Realistically, it's not perfect. Is anything perfect? No. So, but is it really functional? Does it work really well? Yes, 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 yes. Checks all the boxes that I need, and it was like only $130, which is pretty good compared to most camera bags out there are really expensive. Like, let me look up Loe Pro. Is that right? Is that how you spell it? Loa Pro. Yeah. So the Loa Pro, where's the good one? Yeah, here's the Low Pro bag is $100 more, and it's actually not that expensive. It's not that crazy expensive, realistically. But I know a lot of people that use this bag. Like Jimmy uses this bag, Randy uses this bag. They both like it. I think even Corey has one, most likely. I think, but I like the Manfrotto bag personally better. I just like them better. But this Lower Pro one is probably, but it's like 220, 229. So you're starting to get into that, 250. What is it after tax? After tax is like $250. So you start to get into that price range of like, do I want to take my bag with me? It might get ruined, Natural Aquarium says apparently it steals part of Joel's soul. Give it a shot. Yeah, that's right. What is this technology? What is this? What is the create clip button? Yeah, so you can create clips from my live stream. You can clip stuff out of my live stream, and you can make little videos out of it, and then I think you can post it to your YouTube channels or Facebook or whatever. I mean, if I'm being a literal idiot, or if I'm not, or whatever, and you want to make a clip, you can make a clip. Yeah, it's totally something you can do. So, yeah. I have a small dry bag I used for rafting. It's currently rotting with my hiking backpack. I wonder if the plastic is brittle at this point. Sadly, we may never know. Yeah. It's one of those things. It's one of those things that you like. You got to use your gear, otherwise it will break down. It's like my climbing gear. Like I have a lot of climbing gear I have to update before we go on another climbing trip, which sucks, but. Luckily, like harnesses aren't that expensive, and some of the stuff I have to update isn't that bad, and I'll just go through piecemeal. For ascenders and figure eight loops and carabiners and all that kind of stuff, I got to go through and date them and find out if they're still up to date and whatnot. But yeah, climbing gear's a perfect example of like, oh, drag. This has been sitting there, and it got moldy, and I don't want to fall off a cliff and trust a moldy thing. So, yeah, same kind of deal. You just got to make sure that you keep your equipment in check and doing well, and you have to update stuff. It's just the reality of the game. Natural Aquariums. Okay, cool. I can do counterpoint videos where I argue with Joel and he doesn't get an opportunity to defend himself. Yeah, good point. Good point. That would be probably pretty fun. I would endorse that because it just promotes me, right? So, why not? It's just honestly, it's just a promotional tool that if you guys make a bunch of clip videos, it will just promote the channel. So, is that cool? I think it's cool. Let's see. Richard says, I'm fixing to change out 5-pound CO2 bottles on my tank and was wondering if you had any advice, anything I should look out for so I don't destroy my regulator. Can I leave my needle valve set the way that it is? Yes. So changing your CO2 is actually pretty simple. There's a little gasket in there, which you should get when you get your CO2 tanks filled. It should be rubber banded to the top of it. That little gasket that you get with it is like a, God, I forget what that little what's that thing made out of? CO2 bottle gasket. What is this thing called? I think we can find a description for it. It's not plastic. There it is. It's right here. Beer line coupling washer and bonus sticker. What the heck are these things made out of? It's like a wax compressed cardboard material. You want to take that disposable one out and dispose of it responsibly because you're an adult, right? And you want to put the new one in there. You could put the new one in there, or which I just use the disposable ones, or you can use this one, which is a brass insert that's reusable. Whether or not I don't necessarily enjoy these ones that much because people have a tendency to kind of screw it up. Or you can get these guys. You should get one of these. When you these ones are nylon, so the nylon ones work pretty well too. Little nylon washer, you should get that. So you make sure you want to replace that. There will be a nylon piece inside your regulator end that is permanent. Don't take that one out. Take out the temporary one. When you take your regulator off, leave the needle valve alone. Don't do anything with it. But the one thing that you want to do is unplug your electronic solenoid. So the plug part that goes in to the timer that sends power to the solenoid to release gas, you want to unplug that so it doesn't turn on while you have the tank off. If you're taking that individual tank off and driving to the place to get the new one or get it filled and then bring it back, you want to leave that unplugged. So, because what will happen is the solenoid will open up and you'll get like a little drip coming backwards sometimes. Not always, but sometimes. So just make sure you unplug that. Then go get your new one, replace your little washer in there, screw it back on, get it tight, then give it a quarter tight. Now, this is the part that everybody forgets. You turn on your gas just a little bit. Don't turn it on like a crazy maniac. You don't have to open it all the way up. Just dink. Open it up. Probably 3/4 of a turn, maybe one full rotation. That's enough gas. It's pushing in there. You don't need to open the thing way open. Now, the part that everybody forgets, drum roll, please. That's a drum roll noise I made with my mouth. It's not good, I know. But the part that everybody forgets is that tomorrow, come back with that wrench and tighten that up probably another quarter turn. Because overnight, that 24-hour period, the brass, the tank, everything will kind of acclimate, and that will loosen up just a tiny bit. It probably won't leak. It'll probably be fine. But if you're the person that came back and tightened it up again the next day, it ain't going to leak. It's going to be fine. You only have to do it that one time. Just remember the next day, come back, tighten that up a little bit. Boom. Totally good. And hopefully that's like a good assessment. That's a good assessment. I hope I remembered all the parts there. You don't need thread tape. You don't need glue. You don't need silicone. You don't need putty. You don't need anything. You know, wrench, that washer, and your hands. It's basically, and a new tank. But it's pretty basic. Nothing too crazy. I think I have a video of how to do it that is edited video somewhere on my channel. I have no idea where to look it up. But maybe I should make a new one. Maybe I should make a new one next time I do my CO2. It's actually a good idea. I'm gonna write that down in my shorts. I'm gonna write that down in my shorts ideas. Shorts ideas. Step by step. Ooh, baby. Do you really wanna love me? CO2 canister swap video. I think we'll call it that. That's what we'll call it. Video for crap. Who asked that? Richard. For Richard Goer. Goger. Oh my God, Goger. I've been saying your name wrong. Goger. There we go. We'll put it in the shorts ideas. Probably make a 60-minute. I'll make a 60-minute short video, 60-second short video on like how to do that. Maybe we could do that. Natural Aquarium says, then make sure your bubble count is good. Just don't assume that it's still set correctly. Yeah, you should always check your bubble counters on a regular basis anyhow to make sure that you're getting the bubbles per second that you wanted. Where do I set mine? I normally set mine at like 3 or 4. It's crazy. I just crank them up. Who cares? It's going into a crap. What do you call that? What is it called? I can't remember what it's called. My brain, guys. I probably have malaria. I probably have the brain rot. I probably have a brain parasite. It's ruining my mind. My CO2 runs into a What? It's not a diffuser. What the hell is that called? Reactor. Jeez, there we go. All my CO2 runs into a reactor where it's going to get dispersed into the water column pretty evenly. So I just kind of crank mine up. Maybe it's 3 bubbles per second. Maybe it's, it's not insane. It's not Captain Insano speed or anything like that. But I realized that for me, it doesn't need to be wildly accurate. Yet another reason why I have built all those reactors for all of my tanks so that I don't have to fiddle with stuff like crazy and lose my mind. Just swapped my 5-pound tank this week. Ooh, nice. It's always nice. It's always nice to swap into a new CO2 tank because you're not going to have to do it for a while. You know what I mean? It's a good feeling. It's like cleaning the toilet. You're not going to have to do it for another year, right? He's got jokes, kids. Hello, all. Setting up a 29-gallon dwarf, Sag, and Crypt Lutea. Dude. Nice. I like it. Brain rot is fine as long as you make it back without the butt worms. Good point. Good point. Nobody wants the butt worms. Nobody wants that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Maybe I have Crutchfeld-Jacobs disease. I don't know. Maybe I do. I don't remember what that symptoms entail. Rapidly progressive, invariably fatal neurodegenerative disorder believed to be caused by an abnormal inciform of a cellular. No, I don't think I have that. But if I did, you'd be wishing upon me a death wish, which is weird. That's weird. A buttworms isn't a death wish or a parasite. That's just take a bunch of crazy pills. Natural aquariums on the paper ones. Yeah, there are those too. I was talking about the waxy plastic ones. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, like, Natural Aquarium says, oh, I'm supposed to use both gaskets. Yeah, so there's that white plastic one that's built into your regulator. So you have the threaded collar that comes off the end of your regulator. There's a white plastic piece that's in there. You want to leave that plastic piece in there, and then there's one that's just kind of floats and falls out. It might be plastic, it might be paper, whatever, but the one that has the compression prints on it, yeah, you definitely want to take that one out, swap a new one in, but leave the other one in there that's permanently stuck in there. Like, don't screw around with that one. Don't scratch it. Don't poke it with a screwdriver. I literally had somebody once. I went out to their house because they were like, I'll pay you to come out and help me for my CO2. It's messed up. I don't know what's wrong. It's not working. I need you to come fix it. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. They convinced me to go all the way out there, and they had poked and pried at that plastic piece inside there so much that it was all scratched up and whatnot. And when you even put the disposable one in there, air was still leaking through there. And that was the problem. And the unfortunate thing is, like, where am I going to get another one of those, and how am I going to get it in there? It's sort of a weird compression fit that I'm sure like a robot does. And unfortunately, we just had to order a new regulator because that was going to be the best remedy of the situation instead of trying to find very, very specific parts from who knows where to even get them, So don't scratch up that part, but be sure to put in the new one. If there is some new CO2 stuff I'm going to be testing, I think 3 or 4 months from now. Not anything within the current time frame. So I don't have any like, hey, here's the new thing. Like, here's the new regulator that'll blow your mind. I still recommend this F Zone one because it's using they basically figured out who makes the CO2 art parts and then they're sourcing them. I don't even know if it was illegal. I don't even know how it would be considered to be illegal. But them's the breaks when you're them's the breaks when you're using like all Chinese parts. Let's be honest. If everything's being manufactured in China, the Chinese companies will sell you all of those parts and put your name on them if you want. So here's one that does 2 tanks for $130, and yeah, I would say if I was in the market, that's probably the one that I would buy. If somebody out there is interested in the best CO2 regulator, here we go. The best one, in my opinion, on the market, it's not even on Amazon. So it doesn't even exist on Amazon. So we would literally have to go find it. But it's the Greenleaf Aquariums, GLA CO2 regulator for aquarium. And since they're not an affiliate, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not going to link into the chat. Plus, their stuff is just so expensive. Oh my God, there's a price drop on the 5-stage one, guys. It's dropped $200. A price drop of $200, so it's now only $500. It's brutal. It's brutal, my guy. It's brutal to do five aquariums off of one CO2 tank, which really only seems viable if you have big tanks like I do. If you have like a 5-pound CO2 tank, it's not going to be big enough to do 5 tanks. You know, it's going to run out. You would, at minimum, I would recommend to get a 20-pound CO2 tank, which is, you know, obviously 4 times bigger than the 5-pound, and will last you a good amount of time. I currently use a 20-pounder that runs 4 different aquariums, and it lasts me months and months and months as long as there isn't any kind of leak or something broken. It's good to go. I'm hearing a weird noise. I don't know what that weird noise is. Let's see. All right, guys. I think we're caught up. I don't think we're going to get any more viewers today. I don't think we're going to get any more members today or super chats or anything like that. Richard Goger, our number one only new member today, on Monday, the 23rd of August, 2021, which brings us to 83 members. Like I said, that puts us in the, we're 8.3% on the way to, well, it looks like we lost one during the show. Yep, we lost a member during the show. So we're coming out equal. I guess we'll go back down to 82 because it's only 82 over here on the updated studio. The updated studio. We're down to 82. So, well, that's a drag, but it is what it is. I don't think we're going to get any new stuff today. So I think we're kind of good. And I think I'm going to go drink some honey tea or something. I don't know. What is that? Like lemon and honey? Because didn't realize that this was going on with my voice today. And so I'm going to go figure out what the heck is wrong with me. They have the good stuff, but the owner is super annoying to deal with. Yeah, I don't know any owner. Adam Wing, my 20-pounders last me over a year. Yeah, the 20-pounders last a long time. If you can... If you're on the 5-pounders and you're kind of annoyed by them, the upgrade path is the 20-pound tank. And I wouldn't rent the tank personally. CO2 20 LBS. Cylinder. Let's try to find one here. So here's an empty one on Amazon. Amazon has one that is empty. Don't get the 10-pound tanks. Don't ever buy those. Nobody ever has those full when you go to exchange them. Get a 5-pound or get a 20-pound. Like, here's a 20-pound for $140, which I think is cheaper than the rental deposit. So that's what I would do. Last time I sold a 20-pound tank to a welding shop, I think they gave me $80 for it, I think. Or maybe it was $100. I think they gave me $100. So you're talking about a $40 there. You know, if you ever get out of the hobby and you want to sell it back to the shop, instead of having just paid to borrow their stuff, you know. So, yeah. Okay. That looks to be it for today. Big D Smoke's going to take a nap, which sounds like fun. S says make it a spicy tea. I'll make a spicy tea. You know what I'm talking about.
I deleted all the pictures of you I had on my Instagram. You can't see it in my dreams. I hold you close just like I wish I can. It's late at night, I know you're gone, and I can't sleep 'cause you moved on. I wish I tried, but you're with someone else tonight. Oh, why do we end up broken hearted? Oh, running right back to where we started. Tried to make it all okay, but the end is still the same. Oh, why do we end up broken hearted? What's that show we watched together? I can just remember you and me. Flipping channels, but my mind is watching slideshows of our memories. It's late at night, I know you're gone, and I can't sleep 'cause you moved on. I wish we tried, 'cause maybe you'd be here tonight. Oh, why do we end up broken hearted? Oh, running right back to where we started. Tried to make it all okay, but the end is still the same. Oh, why do we end up broken hearted?
What do we end up?
Tried to make it all okay, but the end is still the same. Why do we end up broken hearted? Why do we end up broken hearted? Running right back to where we started. Tried to make it all okay, but the end is still the same. Whoa, why do we end up broken hearted?
Whoa.